All right, our beautiful people, una welcome back again. This na still the Potmanto today. That program wey we dey tell una say they get the mind to chook mouth for all the matters where all the programs them know they fit chook mouth put. And na me Osagiato, that fine, proud Benny boy. All of una dey call talk. Na just sit down here so. And I'm not there alone. I'm there with one big, strong and reliable man, and with this man we're going to discuss so many things wey concern Nigeria economy. And I know say the way Nigeria economy come dey go now, e come dey be like say na abracadabra for our eye, because wetin government dey project say that they achieve for the economy, e no dey translate for our day-to-day daily living, our daily expenses. Today you go hear say inflation rate go up, tomorrow you go hear say inflation rate come down, tomorrow you go hear say purchasing power increase, next tomorrow you go hear say purchasing power don drop again. Inflation rate, purchasing power, interest rate dey high, dey low, everything now come dey be like naira and dollar for market. Before na only naira and dollar dey rise, dey drop against each other, but now so many things don dey rise and drop against each other, especially within the Nigeria financial space. And that one I make we say make we carry this oga come, make we come touch light into wetin dey happen exactly with Nigeria economy. The figures wey we dey read, shey na abracadabra, shey dem just dey fix these figures to take attract foreign investors? Because all these figures wey we dey see normally e suppose dey affect people life directly, dey impact on the way wey people life dey improve. But all these things we dey see them, but they no dey affect our life, dey touch or dey impact on our purchasing power. Na make we say make we carry this oga come, make him come help us put some clarity for this matter. I get one big oga inside the studio with me, and together we go dey discuss this matter. This one na highly respected chartered accountant and forensic professional. When I say forensic, I tell una know the meaning of forensic. If you no know, go Google am. This oga go school for better country. He go school for United Kingdom, and there he get him first degree for business accounting for that university where they call now Lincoln University. He get a master's in accounting and financing too from another school for United Kingdom. So this one at University of Chichester. If you don't know there, try go Google am. He hold doctorate degree in accounting and financing from the Business University of Costa Rica. In a fellow of Chartered Institute of Accountants of Nigeria, in a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, in a fellow for the Chartered Institute of Forensic Investigators, that one are for United States of America, and in a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Forensic and Investigative Professionals of Nigeria here, in a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Profession Financial Managers for USA, in a registered reporting accountant with the Security and Exchange Commission for Nigeria here. This oga carry stars for his shoulder. Make a lock that one there. He don work as a senior management staff for David Collins Associates for UK. He worked there for 4 years. He also worked as a financial controller for full commission for local administration where they for UK, and this office so they directly under the Prime Minister of United Kingdom. He come back to Nigeria. Yeah, come join Emmanuel Adeyemo Ogunlowo and Co as a senior manager. From there, he transport himself again. Come enter the Nigerian financial sector. He can join the Vetiva Group. Who no know Vetiva Group for this country? No financial managers. So Vetiva Group, they get Vetiva Capital Management, they get Vetiva Securities, they get Vetiva Trustees. Vetiva now one of the top 5 investment banks in Nigeria, as you know, and he worked there as the group head finance and accountant. If to say I don't know this other time, chai loan we are for color from Vetiva, therefore fear God. All right, make I not talk too much. After he don't work with Vetiva, he can return again to Emmanuel Adeyemo Ogunlowo and Co. This time around, not be as manager again. He come back as a partner. He don't come buy part of that company. He became a managing partner too in 2010. In November 2021, he also became a chief executive officer of EAO Service LLC. This one now for Texas, for United States, a professional service firm too. EAO Service LLC and Emmanuel Adeyemo Ogunlowo and Co. They be affiliates. So this oga dey short tonight. Don't travel far and wide. In a married man and blessed with children. Ladies and gentlemen, we cannot talk too much. I get my own very guy in the building, Dr. Bamidele Ogunlowo.
In fact, when you were talking, I said, is it me talking about? Look, my name is just Bamidele. I'm just the person. Oh, that one is tied to anybody can get it.
Oga, anybody can get it, but not be everybody get the opportunity to get them.
Yes, you are right.
You like chairman, and for you to even submit yourself to come gather all these accolades, but by noise you. Me that year where I want go school, I say I want study law. Me, I'll tell you my brief story. I want study law. So I can't go do inquiry. How many years who they study law? They say you go first do 4 years. Then you can't do 1 year for law school. They say you can't go another 1 year again youth service before. I say that 7 years I not get that patience. I can't go do 3.5 years course. You know the course now. 3.5 years, 3 years for classroom. Half year you go take and do IT. The other half year you go take and do a project. I don't get time to waste. Oga, who am I? So for you to go through all this, Baba, you get patience. So
I get patience.
You are welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, but the patience they pay off now.
Yes,
yeah, because yes, you they fresh, Oga.
It's Vaseline. Oh, that one is Vaseline.
Well, Oga, will not take your time too much because we know say you dey very, very busy. You know, the first thing I want us to talk, because the Potmanto is about the grassroots people, especially the SMEs people, you understand, because now them we dey always dey feel for. Because many of the things where they happen for this country, now them they always dey bear the brunt, you understand, because those people were they into big multi-billionaire business. We no go talk say no, they affect them. If they affect them, but them they always they get their ways around all these things. But the small scale and medium entrepreneurs or enterprises, most of them once anything hit them back, they will just close shop like that. You understand what I try to talk? So now we want to talk about first thing, interest rate. Okay. You know, interest rate. You know, Nigeria gets one of the toppest interest rates. You know, for across the world. You understand? By central bank, our interest rate is sitting at 27%. You know, which you know is very, very astronomical. You know, so but recently they reduced it by I think is it 5 points.
5 unit points.
5 unit point. Yeah, they dropped it to about 26.5%. What will be the reason why they drop it? People know they borrow money again. People
will always borrow money, no matter the rate. Forget that one. Some of them will do business, some of them will take it and run. You see, when the interest rate in America got to 5%. About I think it was in 2021 June or something, panic started. Then it went to 5.5. Then they started having problem. Now we've never achieved all those rates because we have always been fighting inflation. So when you're fighting inflation, the basic thing to do is increase the interest rate first, so that people that have extra money will put it in the bank. But obviously the downside is people that are borrowing money we borrow for much more. I asked a simple question. If the interest rate is 27 or 26, let's say 27, and the bank we had all these they are paying 1%, this 1%, the management fee all over and everything. It can end up being 31. Which business can you do that you are guaranteed that you are going to get 31% return to pay the bank before you make any profit? If you can answer that question, you succeed in this country. A business that you are guaranteed that you will make 31% interest profit to pay the bank before you pay tax, before you get any profit.
Before you pay staff.
Those businesses are difficult to find. But the government is fighting fires. You see, when you are fighting a fire and you are using water to fight the fire, you don't care that the water is pouring on your sofa or on your laptop because you are fighting a fire. So that's where we are. We are fighting a fire. Until inflation gets down, not just down for 1 week or 1 month, until it gets low and stable, the interest rate will always be high because you are still fighting that fire. So the government observed that it seemed that inflation dropped a bit. So they reflected it in interest rate. Now, when I say inflation dropped, according to figures by the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, which we are obliged by law to accept as gospel. None of us, have any other data. We have to go by what we have. So according to them, when inflation drops a bit, the CBN they reacted, and that was why they reduced it. Okay. The common man may not feel it, to be honest, because even the banks and the government itself, they are not sure it will keep on going down. So if you are a lender and you peg your interest rate at 29%, and the government reduces it by 5 basis points, you probably won't. You probably officially will reduce by 5 basis points, but in practice you wouldn't. Because if you do it and you lock people in on a 2-year loan, 3-year loan, what happens if in 3 months it jumps back up again? Will you go back to people that have locked in for 3-year loan? Now you are taking it back up again. So the lenders themselves, they listen to this news, they just smile, because they've seen a lot of ups and downs in this economy that is difficult for them to take those rates as gospel. That's the problem that we have. So I think it's just inflation they're fighting. If we are blessed enough in this our lifetime, you know, I keep on saying, anybody who's over 50 plus, we keep on saying our lifetime, because we want to see it as well. If we are able to achieve single-digit inflation in Nigeria, I'm talking anything 9% and below, wow, this country will be different.
As a professional now in this field, how do you think we can hit a single digit? You know, Mr. President promised us then. I think when he was presenting the 2025 budget, he said his aim or his target is to hit a single, digit, inflation rate. So, as a professional, what do you think this administration is not doing? Why that is making them not to hit, that single digit?
It's a circle. First of all, Mr. President, I feel sorry for him. It's like when you're going to university, you promise your parents that I'm going to come out with a first class. And then you come back with 2-2. You still went to school now. You still graduated.
Yes.
That promise you made about the first class, you've not attended one class, so you don't know. So it's a promise he made. Now, to achieve that promise, the man has to work hard to achieve it. When Obama became president, he had black hair. When he left, he had gray hair. That's how difficult it is to be president. Apart from the work, there's the politics. So let's allow me, Mr. President, to do it. I tell people that all we can do is pray for all our leaders that they should get it right.
But people are saying that Nigerians will pray too much. I've had this conversation, but they say prayers cannot do it. That prayer without work is
no. You pray for your president and your leaders to get it, and then you not do work. If you don't do any work, then what's the point? Even though I built the hack now, you didn't just pray.
But the leaders you say we should be praying for, are they also praying for themselves? Do you think these leaders are praying for themselves?
I doubt it. I doubt. So let's go back to inflation. I doubt it. Now you see, it's a catch-22. In order for us to reduce inflation, grow our economy, we need to have products that people want. The reason why a businessman can become a successful businessman is if he sells things people want. You can have a warehouse full of things people don't want. Or if you have a warehouse full of just one product, you are lucky. People might be buying that product. But when there's a change in the demand or supply of that product, you are in crisis.
Welcome to Zaki for Men Only. We are a brand and redefined bespoke wares for men. We are a brand with a total difference in fashion. Our clients' fashion sense and satisfaction is our utmost priority. We specialize in executive tailoring, wedding suits, ethnic fashion, casuals, and accessories. For bookings and inquiries, 08028612610. Instagram, Zaki for Men Only.
We won't talk about the recent bill when President Tinubu just signed. He signed 6%, or 5% of our entire GDP. Is sign on to the financing of industries. Somebody can do industrial financing.
Yes.
And I know say this one a very good one.
Yes.
You understand, because one thing where every leader supposed to now to they navigate towards production and manufacturing. So what I want to know now be say how this thing will take affect the common man, and what kind of alterations this one will bring to our production ecosystem.
Okay. I think what the president did is very noble by not giving it a fixed figure, by putting it as a percentage. No matter what the GDP is, you get something. If he had said 100 million naira, that's it. Even if inflation increases, you are stuck with that figure. So it's good to use a percentage. But what I want to tell people, first of all, before they get carried away, is anything you do not tap into, you don't get to be part of it. Okay. So even though this thing has been announced, if you don't make any effort to tap into these benefits, it will walk past you. He has announced it, he has signed it. You have to look at your industry and see, how does this thing affect me? What can I get from it? Each person needs to look at that. When Buhari was president, the Nollywood people got to 200 million. Yeah. They tapped into it. Nobody throws money at anybody. What the president has simply said is that there are some incentives to help grow local production. We said earlier that local production is what can get us out of this problem.
Exactly.
So that we can be having crude oil and many other things. But for us to have those things, we have to produce those things. So this incentive is in forms of things like tax incentives, loans from Bank of America, Bank of Industry, and some other various industrial loans that you can get. But these things I say you can get, not they will give it to you. To get a tax incentive, you have to apply and tell the government what I'm doing. I'm doing this, I have local content, I'm doing that. They will approve it, and then you don't pay tax. Usually 3 years, 5, depends. They give you various incentives, but you as a business person has to get off from your table and go and find out and apply. Yes, we're in Nigeria, don't let's lie. Everything in Nigeria has something called the Nigerian factor. Mm-hmm. Don't use Nigerian factor as an excuse. You tap into the thing first.
Because, one thing that always, baffles me about whatever the government is doing, I'm not that I don't believe in our government. I believe in them. I always discuss with my colleagues. You understand? But one thing that they do is this. Government is very quick to make announcements like
very
this.
Quick.
You understand? But they don't come up with the implementation method. You understand what I'm trying to say now? So in your own view, how do you think these things are going to run? How do you think they are going to implement, this 5% that is being assigned to industrial development in Nigeria?
These things are already in place. It just allocated funds to it. Bank of Industry has always been giving loans. Tax incentives have always been there. There's nothing new.
How easy is it to access these loans? Because we have so many, like I told you, this program is about the SMEs. You understand? How easy is it for them to access this loan? Because most of the time, most of our belief, our perception is that loans are only being given to big time business owners. And
yes.
Recently, central bank said those big businesses that are defaulting in loan, that they shouldn't give them a new loan. You understand? And all these things are happening, but the SMEs, they are always at the back end of this. They don't get to access loan. You tell them, they say, go and bring this collateral, go and bring that collateral that they cannot even afford. You understand what I'm trying to say? So how do you think the government should go about this so that it will be an all-inclusive thing, not that the big business people will hijack it again?
Yes, you're right. The big businesses have hijacked it a long time ago.
Yes.
But when government wants to do something, it does it. When government wanted to give farmers fertilizer, some of fertilizer disappeared, but some also got to the farmers. Because the government was determined that some will get to the farmers at that time. The government has to be determined that some small businesses, some micro businesses will get these facilities. The government has to reduce the criteria required. If the government doesn't reduce those criteria, they will tell you to go and bring documents. There are so many small businesses that their profitability is in their head. They know that this is how much I make every week. Or they have a one exercise book that they write everything down. But the bank will, or the lender will say, go and bring 5 years audited accounts. Somebody that cannot even afford that anyway, or doesn't have the record to prepare those accounts. So if you don't have the record to prepare those accounts, how do you meet the criteria? So the government needs to look at the criteria that suits that sector. Because my earlier statement was, if the government wants to do something, it will do it. Because I know farmers that got loan. I know farmers that got fertilizer. And I also know students that got student loan.
Yes.
I did not believe it I will not lie. I did not believe it when they announced it. Because they announced a lot of things and they're doing implementation. But the government wanted to prove a point. And some students got student loan. The government had a way of implementing and changing the criteria to ensure that it gets to those students. If government wants to do this, it will create the framework specifically for that market. It's easier for the companies on stock exchange, companies earning over $1 billion, turn over $2 billion. Everything is structured already. They just need to send everything, upload everything to the bank, and they get everything approved. But the small business person who really handles their business in their brain, there has to be a structure that is created. Nigeria is not the only country that has small and micro businesses. We're not the only. There are businesses abroad that also keep the expenses in their head, and they still get facilities. They get credit card. They get small business loans because the framework is there. We use collateral as an excuse to block everybody. Once they say, go and you want to get 20 million, go and make collateral worth 40 million. So they are blocking you. So the government needs to look at the fact that these people are being blocked by administrative excuses. Why don't we create something that allows people in this sector? They can even pick it sector by sector. They can say, okay, we're looking at market women. We're looking at people that produce gari. We're looking at people that refine palm oil. They can look at this sector by sector. That way they can meet those needs one by one. They are looking for people that want to export sesame seeds. They can support them one by one. Doing it blanket might be difficult. Let's be honest. But you look at the sectors that can grow this economy and support them first. Policy is easy to announce. Like we said earlier, you can tell your parents that I'm starting investing next year, I'll get first class. It's easy to say. It's easy. You can even promise to one. It's easy. But now when you go by your father that pass safe, you are grateful.
Sorry, on the side of the SMEs now, understand. What do you think they should be? How do you think they should position themselves for this? To benefit from this?
I was going to go there next. Yes.
That they're supposed to be.
Whether we like it or not, small businesses also have to step up. Whether we like it or not, you can't keep on doing the same thing the same old way and expect that government will shift and come and meet you where you are. Government might shift down, you move up a bit to meet them in the middle. You have to learn about record keeping. You have to learn about your marketing strategy, business strategy. You need to be able to. I met a businessman who was able to talk about his business, and I was impressed. And I said, okay, put it in a document. Let me give it to somebody to see how they can help you move this thing forward. He couldn't put the document together. Everything is in his head. You cannot continue to run the business in your head. You will never grow. Your business needs to be documented. The processes, what you do from beginning to end needs to be documented. The cost of each thing needs to be itemized. Can you sell your products midstream, or do you have to finish? If you are doing cassava now, you can sell it raw, you can process halfway, you can process to the end and sell many other products. Your business needs to have that documented. If I sell my cassava raw, how much can I make? What is my cost? If I want to refine and get various products, what can I get? How much can I sell per ton? Whether we like it or not, small businesses need to develop that information, however scanty it is. However, it cannot be a glossy document like you get from the big companies, but there has to be documentation that you will give to an institution, and they can verify and cross-check with their research department and take it off. But when you come and talk with your head and you give them one sheet of paper and you fill a form, 4 or 5 forms, you won't get the loan. They won't encourage you. So small businesses need to meet the government halfway. If you need to put money aside to engineer some business strategy people who come and sit with you for 1 week and help you document all your activities. Some people know their customers in their head. If you tell them, okay, what can this customer buy from you in the next year? They say, is our major customer. Yes. What is the quantity of what is buying? What is the cost of what is buying from you? Can you relate that cost of customer with the customer A to your total cost? Now, this customer buys so much, so half of my cost is related to that customer. Most of them don't have this data. So they cannot tap into these things. That's why I made a statement that these things are available. We need to tap into it. University doesn't come to meet you in the house. You fill jam form and you apply. So the people also need to step up, however scanty it is. After all, when you are doing a job in the market, you keep a record. You know how much you have contributed. Yeah. You know how much you owe. So why can't you keep record of the business? They have to keep records. They don't have a choice. It doesn't have to be audited accounts. They don't have to buy a software, even if it's an exercise book. And they are keeping record of their weekly activity, especially business strategy. Why do you, if you are selling plastic cup and plastic bucket, why are you selling cup and bucket? Why not bowl? Because cup is more profitable. Because bowl moves more in December. The lender needs to know those things. That you are doing plastics, but each product has a season. The lender is not going to know that now. So our people also need to step up their game, whether they like it or not. Otherwise, they will keep on saying things are available, government is not giving them. You self are not making them available. We as Nigerians are, not all of us, I would say a section of us are docile, and we are used to complaining that when we should just make small effort and benefit. However bad these politicians are, tap into whatever is available. But the SMEs need to also wake up. They don't have a choice. Otherwise, they'll be left behind.
One thing that always touched me about this loan thing, you know, I'm really talking about this loan matter because many SMEs are backed up because of their inability to meet up with, you know, returns on their loans. You understand what I'm trying to say? Now, there is a system in the loan regime, especially among the SMEs. You understand? The system is that if you borrow money today, you understand, they expect that this same day next month you start making returns, start paying back the loan with interest. So I was like, somebody who borrow money to start a small business, you understand, maybe 300,000, 400,000, 1 million.
Sharp, you should start paying.
The next month they expect you to start making return. How much the business is even yet to form? The business is yet to take its stand. Yes. And they expect you to start. That's why some SMEs, is the loan they took that they will use to pay the first 3 months.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? So this system, is it a globally accepted one?
No.
That once you collect loan today, this month, by this same day, the following month, you should start paying back. Is it a globally accepted one?
No, it's not. It's a disastrous system. It's a disastrous, massively capitalist system. When a big company goes to one of the big banks to borrow money, they say they want, for argument's sake, 100 million. They charge them 30% interest. The bank itself, in the loan document, will give them 6 months moratorium or give them 3 months moratorium. So for the first 3 months, they are not paying anything. So if the big companies who are taking 100 million, 1 billion, 5 of them are getting 3 months moratorium, I know somebody that has gotten 6 months moratorium. It took about, I think it was 300 million from the bank. And it's 6 months moratorium the bank gave to him. That, don't worry. Month 7, you start paying. He has 6 months to get his act together and turn that money around. But that, number one, the bank understands his business. The bank has enough information about his business. The bank knows that 30 days is not enough turnaround time for him. So the bank itself is being reasonable. If you are somebody who does refinery if you are somebody who buys cassava and processes, there's a time before you get it from cassava to garri to other products to sell. The lender needs to know that your circle might be 60 days before that cassava becomes cash. The bank might decide to give you 2 circles before they ask for any money back. But you see, the problem is that a lot of the banks just want to book loan and move on. Then our people, especially SMEs, you see, the big companies have an advantage. They have so much confidence. They know they are bringing a good product to you. If you don't learn them, somebody else will. But the SMEs and the micro business, they are so scared anyway that they think the bank is doing them a favor. When somebody is doing you a favor, even when they give you terms that are stretching you, you go just collect them. At least, let me thank God they are still helping me. But you are paying interest. You are going to pay rollover fees. You will pay management fees. You should be honest with them and say, look, this money that you are giving me, it is not realistic for me to start making payments for the first 2 months. Those things have to be agreed before you collect the money. It is not practical to collect money on the 2nd and expect that your first payment will be on the 1st. It's not what business are you doing? Quick turnaround like that. We will be doing it now.
So what is the way forward?
The way forward is back to the government. I said earlier that if they want to do something, they will do it. This moratorium thing, you cannot get it from a lot of commercial banks. You cannot get it from microfinance banks. Some of them will give, most of them won't. The government has to ensure that those facilities exist within the government that allows those things. That's why I said earlier that sector by sector. If the government knows the circle of the palm oil sector, the circle of the cassava sector, the sector of the circle of the plastic maker, they will know what moratorium is required. From the point of gathering plastics and melting it, making buckets and bowls before you sell it, the government will know that in this sector, the whole circle is 8 weeks. So we can't give him money and expect money for another 12 weeks.
Yeah.
So if the government looks at this sector by sector, the moratorium for each sector can be determined. But if you generalize it, you can't compare a carpenter to a shoemaker. They are different things.
That's true.
So sector by sector is the only way that the small businesses can actually grow and gain these benefits. This blanket benefits is just textbook. They need to break it down into every possible sector. Let's take the popular oil and gas sector. If you have a truck, you buy diesel. It's in your truck. You want to sell it. Until the point that you have sold the diesel, you've not sold it though.
Yes.
The diesel can sit in your truck for 4 days. No buyer. So everything has its own maturity cycle. The people selling bread, if they overbake and they don't sell everything that day, is a problem.
Yeah.
So they need to know that, okay, we cannot bake more than 200 loaves because we only sell 200 in a day. So they can plan to borrow money only for them to make 200 until they can grow their market to 400. That's where the data comes in, that they must keep data as well. So between their data, the government looking at this facilities sector by sector, everybody will benefit.
In recent time, we saw when some ministers and head of MDs, went to defend their 2026 budget. You understand what I'm trying to say? Before the National
Assembly.
Many of them were complaining that what they budgeted for us in 2025, some say we didn't even get 10% of it. Some say they didn't even get. There was one that said they didn't even get anything, and the man even said since this administration that they have not even received salaries. Are you understanding? And this is the first time. I don't know if they are doing it and they are not announcing it, or it's not coming to public, eyes, you understand, or ears. But this is the first time I'm hearing this, that money they budget for a parastatal or for a ministry, they could hardly get half or even 10% of that money. So, sir, are we dealing with an over-bloated economy here, or we are having structural issue with our economy? What is the problem here?
Okay, let's talk about the budget first, because that's the backbone of this discussion.
Yes.
Now, we are slowly turning our budget session into an academic exercise. Slowly. Because these people will do all their estimates. The senators will break into committees, review everything. They will have meetings. They will go back and forth. They will approve. Mr. President will sign. But there's hardly proper implementation because of funding. So if you as an individual, you are budgeting to spend 100,000, but you make 50,000, why would you even budget for 100,000 unless you know where the extra money is going to come from? You want to buy a brand new car, but honestly, now Tokumbo you can afford. Just buy a Tokumbo, buy a car, and move on. We have these budgets are rosy, they give them names, budget of productive, but everybody tags the budget with names. But if you go back the past few years, this is not just this government, it's almost historical. You find that there's a budgeted amount and there's the amount that they disburse. That's why towards the end of October, November, December, all these MDAs rush to spend all the money. Because you ask for 100 million, they give you 45 million. At the end of the year, you still have 10 million. Next year, they won't give you that much. We need to look at the budget properly and look at the funding properly. It's not fair for the senators to go through all that drama and then you don't release half of the money. And then you find that a lot of banks and even institutions, they look at the budget, they do analysis, it's not fair. It's all becoming academic. If you have a budget that is not funded, okay, I'm not going to call any company, but if a company in Nigeria has budgets, and then they are at the end of every month, they look at their budget, their actual, they look at the variances, and they want to know why we have variances. And every month, they keep on questioning the sales people, the production people that, look, you are not sticking to your budget. What is the problem? You find that even we are entering the end of first quarter now. A lot of companies to do their Q1, their Q1 analysis. This is your budget. This is what you achieved. Why? Unless the government is doing these things as well, we're going to keep on having this elaborate, expensive academic exercise. It's very much academic. Because there's hardly any MDA that will come and say, oh, we asked for 3 billion, we got 3 billion, this is how we spent it, this is our scorecard. So when we say, okay, they've allocated, for example, education, 300 billion is budgeted, it's been signed, they get only 50 billion. The people are expecting 300 billion results.
Yes.
So people now say,
people have seen,
they've read, people now say, upon 200 billion that they gave them, nothing. Meanwhile, the money they actually got could be 10% of that. So it's an academic exercise. And it gives the people too much of an impression as if, oh, these people, they're just giving them money, they're not doing anything. Some of them are actually not getting any money. Like you said, somebody said they've not paid salary. So we need to find a way to streamline and merge that budgeted, actual money received. They need to come together and sit together and say, look, your budget is great, but the money you are going to get is 50 million. What can you achieve with 50 million? You want 300 billion, but from what we are projecting for 2027, you can only get 50 billion. Work backwards. What can you see? It's better to be more realistic. Mm-hmm. It's better to be more.
Just accept it and
then the way they defend all these budgets as if it's war, and at the end of everything, no implementation because there's no money. So it's not fair to the whole system. Now they do it because they have to do it. It's an academic exercise, like I said. But it gives us, the Nigerians, too much hope. And then if you see the budget, you do a sum. Even when I get budget, when I get the budget, I'll do my own 2-page summary. I don't bother anymore because I know it's an academic exercise. They're never going to fund it anyway. So why am I going to spend 2 days analyzing the budget and then doing our own summary for all my clients? Mm-hmm. I'm not interested. I'm interested in what they are actually going to do. That's why I said this percentage thing is a great idea. No matter what the GDP is, they've tagged the percentage to it. But the budgets are actual figures, which may or may not come. That is the problem that we're having. And we are going to keep on having it until we face the reality. Money budgeted, money allocated, money released are 3 different things.
Our economic structure, is it that the economic structure is imbalance, is not well structured? That is why we are having these defects or deficiencies.
No, I think Nigeria has to be honest with itself. We are top heavy. You know, it's like having an MD that's earning too much for a small company. We are top heavy. We pay, our outgoing is so much compared to our inflows. That's why this president specifically has done his best to try and ramp up taxes. But no matter how much you ramp up taxes, unless we have local production, it's not going to help as much as it will help, but that hole will still be there because the government is top heavy. We're not going to reduce the senators. They are 109 now, and there are 200. How many members of the House? Are we going to reduce them? The answer is no. So they are fixed cost. We have ministers and minister of state, which means now I have 2. They all have special. Those things are not going anywhere. That's part of us now, and we have to fund those things. And so we already have all those fixed costs.
That means we are dealing with an overbloated.
We are administratively too heavy. There's nothing wrong with it if you have the money.
But right now we don't have the money.
Right now we don't. But who's going to bail the cat and say, look, let's reduce senators to 1 senator per state? Per state.
Oh, okay.
It's possible. If we have 36 senators, so be it. And 1 more from FCT, 37. That reduces the cost of managing senators by 2/3 straight away. And that money could go into education and health immediately. But who's going to suggest that? No politician will suggest that. There are too many of them, but we have to keep on taking care of them.
Well, we will take another short break now. Dr. Ogunlowo is still in the house. When we come back, we'll now come and discuss this 1% presumptive tax that President Tinubu, has also, signed. You understand? And then we're also going to be talking about this mandatory personal income tax that should be filed before or by end of this month. How can people go about it? All right, we're going to go anywhere when we come back now.
Welcome to Zaki for Men Only. We are a brand and redefined bespoke wares for men. We are a brand with a total difference in fashion. Our clients' fashion sense and satisfaction is our utmost priority. We specialize in executive tailoring, wedding suits, ethnic fashion, casuals, and accessories. For bookings and inquiries, 08028612610. Instagram, Zaki4Minonly.
Alright, so now welcome back again. This is still the Potmanto today. That program will determine us if they get the mind to chook mouth for all the matters where other programs them not the fit chook mouth put. And then we still get our guy, Dr. Ogunlowo, inside the house. We don't talk so many things about Nigeria economy, and we don't talk so many things about this loan matter and interest matter. You know, he don't explain so many things. I want to thank those of you who don't subscribe, give us for all our social media platform. We hail now. We say now because of now. And I will get the mind to continue on top the Potmanto today. Those of you who never subscribe, we wait for. Make una go check us out now. All our social media handle just scroll for the down of the screen now. Check us out. You know, connect with us there. Subscribe now free. If you reach anywhere, then say pay. No be with that. Our own now free. Just subscribe. Join this happy family where they receive better information about what they go on and for our country, Nigeria, and our environment as a whole. Okay, now we want to wrap up this conversation with Dr. Ogunlowo now because he get plenty place where he won't go today. And Doctor, first thing we want to talk about for this segment, now the 1% presumptive tax where President Tinubu, you know, just introduce again. You know, since the beginning of this year, since the middle of last year till the beginning of this year, everything are tax. You know, he said this 1% presumptive tax now for in the introducer for the informal, you know, sector. You know, how is the government going to drive this through? And don't you think the Nigerian people are already overtaxed?
Let me explain it properly. Maybe people answer. I'm not. This is not about sides. I'm not on side of government or people. But when you're coming from a place of zero, we and our parents and our grandparents have been paying zero tax. So when they say pay 500 naira, it's too much. It's 500% more than what you paid last year. So the government is trying to drive us from a place of no tax importance to a place of paying tax. It's going to be hard. Now, the average Nigerian is not used to paying taxes. The average Nigerian is not interested in paying taxes. The average Nigerian will say, when I pay self, what am I getting back? It's a catch-22. If you don't pay, they can't do anything. If they don't do anything, you don't feel like paying. But because people are coming from a point of not paying taxes, when you ask people to pay 5,000 naira a year, that's 5K they didn't pay last year. So it's too much. So if you look at the percentage, it's 5,000% increase. Because I didn't pay anything last year. So the presumptive tax is a smart way of getting everybody to pay something. We're not going to look at your income. We'll peg an income for you. We do 1%. In fact, I think a lot of them are going to be 5,000 naira or something. So, but if you are paying taxes normally, you don't have any problem now. If you are not paying taxes, this thing will capture you as well. This is the way of the president ensuring that everybody pays something, however little. Even in the bus garages now, the government are going to implement a way where they'll be paying something. I think it's every month or something through the NURT. So somehow this president is trying to get all of us to have some tax sensitization that however little. By the time this man is done with us, everybody in what I call the civilized Nigeria will pay tax. It can achieve it in the urban areas. In my village, probably not. In your village, probably not. But in the cities, it will achieve it. My major worry is that the cost of collection should not go higher than what you're actually collecting. That's my major worry. That's why I hope they've done the analysis very, very well. Because if you put people around to keep on chasing people for tax all up and down, and they're collecting 5K, 10K, that person that is doing the job, the salary, the allowances they want to collect, if you're not careful, it will be negative.
That is why I ask, how do you think, have they come up with the modality of how they want to push this through?
They are doing it sector by sector. The NURT, they've covered that one.
Okay.
The schools, they will catch you. At the point of registration, evidence of tax payment, they quickly go and pay.
So is it that we will now go to the bank to go and be paying it, or
they are going to make it? You see, for tax to be progressive, it has to be easy to pay. It has to be easy to pay. I know you can generate your tax ID online and all that, and you can pay online with your card, or you can go and pay at the bank. But they are trying to make it easier. Lagos State government is doing a wonderful job in making it much easier. The way Lagos State government is going, you will be able to pay your tax from your bedroom. Once you have a card, you can register. Once you have internet, and because everybody has data now, the government believes that you should be able to pay your taxes easily. So I think, unfortunately, when it comes to paying personal income taxes, it rests on the state governments. A lot of state governments do not have the facility or an infrastructure required to chase up this money. Lagos tires, Ogunlowo has a lot of some states have, but there are some states that the cost of setting these things up, how much are we even going to collect? So they might need to. The law allows them to give that power to somebody else to do. So another state that does not have the facility might say, okay, let FIS help me do it. Let Lagos State help me do it. So when they now get money, they can now build the infrastructure. But if you are paying taxes normally, this thing doesn't affect you. It is those that are not in the bucket, it brings it into the bucket. It's like withholding taxes. You send an invoice, they deduct your withholding tax, they pay on your behalf. If you are paying taxes already, that withholding tax just forms part of the taxes you should pay. So the government is just trying hard to capture all of it. In the long run, people will appreciate taxes, but the Nigerians, we are not people that buy things we don't see. Now, that's why people in the service industry in Nigeria, they struggle.
Yeah.
If you are doing anything that people cannot see, they will say, Shebi is just paper that you are doing. Shebi is just going to talk. How am I going to pay so much money? Exactly. But when they see plastic bowl, plastic bucket, they will buy. Anything that involves you talking or using your intellectual property, Nigerians don't appreciate it. So until they see what government is doing with their money, before the willingness to pay is there. So the government cannot also push too much because the poverty is a lot.
It's too much.
So if you push them too much, it gets to a state that the elastic band itself will cut. So the government is trying to manage the situation. Mr. President has his visions about taxes. He cannot achieve half of them, to be honest. The people are too poor. The economy is too slow. Productivity is too low for him to achieve this thing. In a booming economy, Tinubu will get taxes easily. But we need to get to that place where he has a booming economy. Even Lagos State government, they get a lot of taxes. But the cost of enforcing it is a lot. But it's easier because for them, the cost of enforcement is a small percentage of what they are getting. But I'm sure when they started as well, they had to invest in infrastructure, in the personnel, and they started growing the revenue. So I think we should appreciate that whether the government is doing what you want or not, as good citizens and corporate citizens, both individuals and businesses, just pay what is due.
We know there are a lot of challenges, in collecting and driving these things through. You understand? But don't you think one of the challenges is our data issue, that we don't have proper and accurate data?
Yes.
You understand what I'm trying to say? Data, people.
And I even think we have too much data. It's true, we just don't have any coordinated data. They woke up and said, go and do BVN. All of us went. Say do NIN. All of us went. all of us went. No, you answer your phone. Everybody went again. They've collected so much data that I don't understand why we don't have a proper database. We should, in theory, based on the fact that NIN exists, and your NIN is now linked to your bank account, is linked to your tax ID, is linked to your phone, in theory.
How many people have the NIN?
That's why they're using mobile phone to catch us. As long as you get a phone, you must get the NIN. But the back door to that is that if you are my uncle, I can get the phone in my name, register it, and I give it to you to be using. That's why I call it the back door. That's why the back door. So to capture everybody is going to be very difficult. But let's start from a form of database and then try and be growing it. But that NIM is a fantastic one. We just need to grow it more and more and more. The BVN, people thought it was going to be the main thing. Yeah. But when they now find out not everybody uses the bank account, which we could have told them for free, that not everybody has a bank account.
They know now.
Now they know.
Yes.
But the thing is that with NIN now, everything you want to do is you want to enter a company in CAC, what's your NIN? You want your bank account, what's your NIN? So they will get there. If they can make the NIN system work and not collapse like Nigeria with and other things, they will get that database issue. They will get there. You want to get a passport now, your NIN is there. So I think on the data front, it's early days, but they will get there. I strongly believe they'll get there. And your tax ID is going to be linked to NIN too now. Yes. So they'll get there.
We don't feel like letting you go, but we have to let you go. On the final one, sir, this personal income return,
yes,
that has been mandatory or mandated that every Nigerian must do, by end of this month, this March. You understand? How do people go about it? Like you said, Nigerians don't pay tax. Nigerians, they are not tax people. You understand? So this tax culture is like
it's alien to us.
It's alien to us. So how do people go about this personal income return tax?
Okay. First of all, this return for end of March is for people that are not in paid employment.
Yes.
If you're in paid employment, your employer would have taken care of you and filed your returns before the end of January. In most cases, if your employer did a good job, you'd have gotten an alert on your phone when they did the filing. If you not got an alert on your phone, you probably have the wrong phone number, or maybe your employer just hasn't filed. So in most cases, people on payroll already have that. Now, this is not a new law. I must repeat that. Mr. President did not imagine this. This has been in effect forever. It's not a new thing. People have been filing it for about 20 years. It's not a big deal. But I can still vouch for Lagos State that they are making it easier. Before you want to file your tax before the end of March, you try you go to the local office. I used to go to Shomolu tax office on I think it was on Pedro Road just to pay my tax, and to be drama just to pay it. But willingly. Yes, self-assessment willingly. But now Lagos State is so robust and IT savvy that you can generate your tax ID online, generate your payment slip and pay with your card or at the bank, and then get your tax clearance certificate.
What are the calculations? What is the calculation basis, for this one? Because, like you said, this is going to really be for the informal sector.
Yeah, the informal sector, they need data. You see, they are back to the data again.
If I want to go and pay my tax now,
you are the one.
What am I going to consider? Say, okay, this is what I'm...
If you work for yourself, you should know the income from your business. You should know your business expenses. And you should know, okay, this is my profit or my net income for the year. You should have that information. Then there's a standard table. Okay. I can send it to you. Maybe you can put it on your platform, where you can now work out the first 800,000 naira is tax free. So based on that table, you'll be able to know what your tax payable is. The government has made it so easy that it's simple maths now. It's on an Excel sheet. Just put your thing there. It will come out. Averagely used to be 15, but I think it's 17%. I think it's, I don't do it personally as well, but I think it's 17% on the average. Okay. But people need to have the information. Good. Even things like you collect rent from your tenant is income.
Yes.
Somebody told me that his rent is not income, that he because the income is the money he makes from his business in the shop. Okay. But the part of the shop that he rented for somebody to do addressing, that one is not income. He said that one is from rent. I said every money you make is income. As long as you know your salary and everything else is income. Wow. So you need to have data, basically.
Basically, it's all about having personal data on your businesses or on whatever you do for a living. Finally, sir, before we close camera, your own personal assessment or your own overall assessment, do you think President Tinubu has done well with our economy?
Luckily, I'm not in APC, PDP, or ADC, or Labour, or anything. I'm just the average Nigerian who spends time in Nigeria and knows what's going on. I think he has good plans for Nigeria. I sincerely believe he does.
Has he done well with the running of the economy so far?
So far, I'll give him a pass mark for one reason. He's been able to stabilize the exchange rate. And because our country, sadly, the exchange rate seems to be the backbone of everything that happens in Nigeria. When they first came and the exchange rate just decided to go on his own, flying without wings on his own, somehow they've been able to keep it at a level that businesses can plan. Based on that, I have to give him a pass mark, because if he did not do that, things would have been disastrous. There's still a lot to be done, I don't even think he can do everything, but based on the exchange rate, which is the backbone, I have to give him a pass mark. If he can fight this inflation, then I give him 2 pass marks. I think we have to take it case by case. You cannot judge the whole economy at once. It has to be case by case. On the student loan, is done well. So you cannot, it's difficult to judge it as a whole. I can pick out the things he has done well. Okay, say for example, people that want to get passports now, it's easier now. So you can give them a pass marking now. So we have to look at President Tinubu sectorially. If you look at him on the whole, you will judge, say, the government has failed. They are spot on level, but you cannot do that. You have to pick the things that they have done and see if they can do more. If based on what they have done with the passport, with stabilizing the exchange rate, with trying to fight inflation, if they can keep on growing that, then we can be able to give him a general pass mark. But for now, can only pass him on those sectors and hope that he does more. Because if he doesn't do more, we are the ones that will suffer. If he does more, we can keep on passing him. And we can keep on passing him without political opinion, just pass him. I hope he does more for all our sakes.
That's our prayer.
Because everybody works too hard for what we all get.
That's basic.
Everybody, that is the backbone of all our discussion. Everybody works too hard.
Too hard. People are putting in more, but they are getting not even half of what they are putting in. So it's really putting.
There's work on the economy, but I think it's not a lost cause. I mean, he's doing what he can. I believe he's doing what I don't know him personally, but I believe he's doing what he can. He's going out trying to market the country. Some people think it's a waste of money. He's a marketing officer. A CEO can choose to be a marketing officer as well. Yeah. So maybe he chooses to market the country instead of sending ministers to market. Maybe he believes I can market it better. Maybe he believes when I get there, I can take a final decision. So the advantage of him going up and down to market Nigeria is that he can take a final decision there and then, okay, we will do this. Bring the agreement, we will sign. So that is the advantage of him going by himself. But, he wants to get results. Nobody will complain about president flying every time.
That's it. Once the
result, all these ones that we are saying is because we are not seeing the result. That's why we are picking it sector by sector. If we are seeing result, you see, somebody said food prices was going down, but people are not feeling this.
Yes.
You know why they're not feeling this? Your money is still the same. Your affordability is still the same. Food prices have gone down, but your 100K is still still 100K. And you are not going to eat more than you can eat. If a bag of rice has dropped from 120 to 60K, and what you buy is 1 day, you can still that 1 day that you buy. People's disposable income, on the whole, seems to be going down. And they're going to pay tax on it again.
It's not matching up.
It's not matching up.
It's not matching up.
It's not matching. So inflation seems to be one night. So
even the food inflation we are celebrating that dropped to single digits, it's gone back to about above 12% again.
Now that is what I said at the beginning. Now if you say something has dropped, the lender will not drop his rate because he knows that it's probably coming back up.
And that is what is replicating in all that things too.
That is the problem.
Now they say food inflation drop. If you go drop your
prices now,
before you know they say don't go to you want to come.
So that's why people don't really reduce prices in Nigeria because they say if I reduce now, by the time I sell to go and buy again,
would be a problem.
The price that we would have gone up, and then we'll be in trouble. Wow. On the other, they have a lot of work to do. Yeah. When in Nigeria, it's not easy. We are diverse people.
Well, another thing I'm looking at is their genuinity. I don't see, to me, their genuinity level is low because everything I see they do, I think they are doing it for personal gain.
There's a lot of politics involved. Unfortunately, we have to accept this phrase that that my late dad used to tell me. He said, "It gets to a stage that you admit that we are who we are." There's some things that is a Nigerian thing. For you to change from having your own people working with you and just having technocrats work with you to be difficult in this country. A man gets in power, there are people that campaign for him, people that encourage him, they are the first that he will put in power. They might not be the most brilliant. We are lucky if they are the most brilliant, but they might not be. But they are the people that surrounded him for the last 10 years, and he trusts them, and he will use them. That is who we are. And in most cases, they are either your religion, your tribe, or your family. They are not the best for the job. But we are who we are. That's where we have to admit that it's going to take time for a president to say, okay, I'm appointing a minister of finance, and when he appoints him, he's never met him. I give it to of governor of Oyo State that credit. In his first time, he appointed somebody that he just saw his profile on LinkedIn.
Wow.
He made him a commissioner. 20-something-year-old guy. He just saw him on LinkedIn, and he was happy. And I mean, when he said that was a first for me. I had to confirm that the man did not know him. Now, it's going to take a while for governors to be doing that too. That see this person, see if this person is good. Let me try him out. Because they also have friends who have sons. They have relatives. They have party members who also have sons. So for Shey Makinde to have picked that young man, somebody's slot in the party was taken.
That's basic.
That is the basic thing. So it is difficult. We are still running a system of semi-nepotism.
This one is not semi.
It's semi because at times you get some good people, at times you get some bad people. Some of the appointments they are decent. Some of them are good.
But me,
majority are not good, but some of them are good.
The system is built absolutely on nepotism.
Yes, it is. There's a big part of the nepotism.
Honestly. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, that's what we'll take one generator on top the show. This program will tell us, the end here. It go on top all our social media platform. And just hook us up there. Any place, any part of this conversation where you be like, say, it do you somehow. Just type out there, we will respond to you. Thank you so very much one more time for being a part of this program. Until we come on our way again, we say make una know so na be Naija. Make they rep this country well anywhere you go. Not for let them do drugs because they get any better to what they do for body. Keep repping Nigeria well, and that is how we are going to get better as a people.